I'm Bruno Mellado. I am responsible for payments and receivables for the group BNP Paribas. And at the same time, I'm leading a competence center in Belgium for cash management, where we collaborate across the group on solutions for corporates. It's been actually a very interesting time to make use of the close relationship we have with each corporate client, with each business segment in BNP Paribas. As you know, we are present across the world, and we have a deep relationship with our clients. So during these difficult times, we've been able to stay close to them to understand their main concerns. Is it about their clients' financial health? Can we help them finance clients? Is it about their supply chain? We've seen that supply chain is a major issue today for all our clients, or most of our clients. Some industries, of course, impacted more than others, but there as well, do we finance our suppliers? Do we increase working capital for them so that they cannot get impacted by the delay in deliveries and getting paid and increasing inventories? So it's been a very good time to make the use of that deep relationship to understand our clients' concerns. And I think if you look statistically, you will probably see that the number of RFPs being sent out there for new cash management providers, for example, or new providers, there's not been that many in the last 18 months. And I think that's because clients are more concerned, of course, about making sure they can navigate through the pandemic and the systemic changes in their industries. And so there's no time to do let's say, a change of provider at a time when your focus has to be on clients, suppliers, and financial health. So the relationship has moved to one more about how to get help from the existing providers of financial services, how to find those solutions to improve their own KPIs as well. So that really changes. It's not here's an RFP, what can you do? It's more, we have a problem, how can you help us? And that is the essence of the relationship today. How our role as a bank has evolved is basically a more solution advisory role. I'm working on the product side of things, trying to look at new products. We don't do new products without a problem these days. And so it means that when we speak to our clients through different forums that we've created, like the Treasury Board, where we invite treasurers in different regions, Europe, Middle East, Asia, North America, we invite them to exchange in a close group with let's say, a confidence level of sharing common treasury challenges these days. You can see that that discussion is very rich to define where should the bank be helping them develop new solutions. And today, not one solution will work without a collaboration between, I would say, three parties. The client themselves, and can be the finance manager or the procurement department, can be the treasurer or procurement. The bank, of course, to look as well for financing and how to help on the payment side of things, and software providers. We have the more traditional software providers, ERP vendors, but as well the new software providers, the fintechs. And so when we look at the options to solve a problem, all of a sudden we don't have a very short, limited number of tools. We have a broader vision about how many tools can we put together into that solution. Now, when we find those solutions, to be very concrete, for example, being able to inform vendors when their payments are getting to themselves, that's a very basic question. Well, that need actually is the same for many treasurers in the industry. So one solution for one treasury or finance department can be a relevant solution for many others. And that's how I would say the relationship has changed. The solutions are driving products and not products driving the agenda. The style of BNP Paribas going forward is to bank on the current knowledge of our client. there is already mostly deep roots with most of the client base of BNP Paribas. And looking at the way that data is actually telling us the health of an industry, the health of a client, being on the requests and the discussions happening with the sales teams at BNP Paribas, we're able to find advice on how their working capital topics can be addressed much better through a set of solutions and ways in which the bank can help them to improve their KPIs. So it will become a much deeper look at how working capital is actually being addressed at the corporate side, not only for them, but again, for their clients, which may want to pay later without affecting the corporate KPIs, and for their suppliers who may need some level of financing to shore up inventories and deal with a less lean and less just-in-time supply chain. So I think the 2022 discussion will be more about finding those solutions to regain momentum in the economy, to catch up with the growth that is expected. And every industry is very different. It's not the same if you're in the airline industry, the travel industry. Those industries have a different set of issues to solve than if you're in a more stable equipment manufacturing or other type of industries that have not suffered so much and actually have seen an increase in demand. And building new ways to distribute products has been as well a major topic in the agenda in 2022. E-commerce, settling payments on an e-commerce site so that you can ship for delivery. Those topics are high in the agenda for 2022 because our clients are coming to us to ask for help trying to build those kind of ecosystems and help their own clients and their own suppliers. I think we are all part of actually a very tight ecosystem. BNP Paribas is a result of what their customers are able to achieve and what they're able to get as a result. At the same time, we have a larger ecosystem today with new parties showing up, not only as software vendors, but fintechs, of course. And at the same time, we all have a common challenge ahead of us, which is how to do innovation, how to do things better, more efficient, have better results, reach new client bases, increase sales, lower costs, while at the same time, all solutions have to be indeed safe. We need to make sure that the solutions are not breachable by external parties. You've seen probably this week the major item of the Java vulnerability. The whole bank was mobilized to make sure we did not incur any risk at all, and our clients neither. So these topics are very top of mind because the challenge to innovation is how to do that in a safe environment. And today that's a very, very relevant point. So staying close with clients can allow us as well to give them advice on that respect. To make sure they understand why sometimes the bank may not go into a specific direction. That's important as well to explain. And the other element as well, which is very important, is the financial security topic, which is a major topic in the agenda, not only the sanctions part, but the anti-money laundering, where I think both corporates, banks, and partners, they're all involved in the effort to try to fight against the money laundering. And if you've seen the fines in the industry in the last years, you see that the fines have increasing tremendously in 2021. And today, it is that relationship to understand the client activity, how the client does things, the bank's detection systems that allows to fight against these risks. So I'd say communication is at the core of this, is how to make sure that the communication is open, that we can develop new services for our clients to be successful while they are safe from external threats and from regulatory requirements as well. One of the areas in which we actually work today close to corporates is Journeys to Treasury, which is a publication where more than the publication itself is the process in which we produce that publication, which is getting together key partners, the Association of European Treasurers, SAP, which is a very prevalent ERP for most of our corporates, PwC, which is advising a lot of the corporates as well. And we involve treasurers in very down-to-earth use cases of how we could find best practices in the finance and treasury system to solve very concrete problems. Now, those use cases build that publication, and we expect and we hope that this will be giving inspiration to other treasurers on how to solve very concrete problems or challenges in the industry. Most of the innovations actually take a long time to actually become a normal. We've seen a growth in requests for product teams and experts of the banking community. They employ a lot of experts, a lot of very well-versed people on new technology, new solutions. We've seen these requests to have just open exchanges with not only corporate clients, but vendors as well, regulators sometimes. And exchanges are about how could, for example, digital currencies change the way I do treasury management. These are things that are not going to be there mature for now to be used, but having that exchange allows for people in the organizations of our clients to start thinking ahead of how that could change, or whether it's going to take a long time for things to change. Now, at the same time, we will be able to understand other parties as to how they are planning to evolve. For example, talking to a procurement provider last week, I learned that procurement software is trying to manage payments directly, which is a very doable strategy, and we see that trend in the market. So talking to peers in the market or in the world of financial services, talking to clients allows to put things together and say, okay, those guys are trying to do this, my client is trying to do that. We can help to come up with something that actually matches both objectives, and then if that recipe works, just like any good recipe in the kitchen, let's make sure we tell everybody, because that's going to give them inspiration for doing the same. There's a lot of very interesting stuff out there. Of course, artificial intelligence, which it's a term that I don't like a lot, but machine learning and using algorithms to improve reconciliation, very practical things that are there with us. They can be used, but need to be understood. Digital currencies, we spoke about it. Instant payments, I mean, it's a reality. The evolution of cross-border instant payments. These things are hitting the ground. A key question from corporates is, okay, how am I going to be able to benefit from this? And that takes time to exchange and to digest, and then to finally say, well, this is what we're going to do. So that's why communication, collaboration with the ecosystem is so important in these days.